All right. Good morning, everyone. Welcome to pre-market prep. I hope everyone's having an amazing morning. Hope you had a great day yesterday. Good morning, Norm. How are you today?
Hey, good morning, buddy. I'm doing great. I hope you are as well. Hope everybody's having a good Friday.
Yes, absolutely. And as we mentioned yesterday, guys, if you're in one of those affected areas, hope you guys are doing okay. Hope you're doing well, and that your families are
For
okay
sure.
as well. I mean, it's just look at the pictures. It's just sucks. So hope you're doing good there. Let's get to it, guys. We had a large list yesterday for a watch list. We I had a lot, especially me. I had a lot on here, and a lot of it actually traded pretty decent. We'll start with Box. I don't think Box was the best one, but even Box here, man, it was pretty
No,
choppy at the open, and it was a little rough. It then is sold off, but again, this is probably one of the worst ones that we had yesterday. GRWG. This is one that I was paying close attention to because it was breaking out of these levels, guys. We have 1541 and 1550 as well, the most recent high there of the pre-market. If you look at the 2 minute, actually, I'm going to show you. And I saw this, I'm like, man, this is going to go. But I didn't pull the trigger because it's not a strategy that I trade. But the 2 minute opening range breakout on this one was perfect. It had everything going for it. Look at the drop here. It comes back up right to this level. This is a great entry for this breakout on the 2 minute. And you can see here how nice this thing takes off here. So again, just breaking out of these pre-market highs here, holding on to that VWAP, and then you get this amazing pop. So I stuck around looking for the 5 minute. Unfortunately, once you see this type of 5 minute action, it's way too extended, too far from VWAP. That no longer became a good play there. Then it just kind of sold off, and this is why you don't want to get into a 5 minute that is so extended like that, especially from VWAP, especially after breaking out of some pretty good levels here, and also in the pre-market. This move started happening early on in the pre-market here, so you can see that there. ABT was not great. It was very choppy. I didn't like this one at all. Good pre-market action, but at the open was just really wild. Very hard to read the price action there. It did settle down as the day went on. You can see here a nice little base towards that 109.81. Found a great base there. A nice reverse back to be up. And then this thing came out of nowhere. Look at this pop here on ABT. Just insane. Um, Let's look at Piton. Piton was another one too. Great short was strong the entire morning. They gap up, but just gave a lot of it back right at the open. Right, just the rejection here, beautiful rejection, slams down. Cannot stay above the VWAP. A tough area to take a short in here because again, you're getting a lot of wicks pretty deep in here. So you don't know if it's going to bounce off this VWAP, especially after being strong. So it was tough to take this trade, but it did trade nice the entire day, guys. Look how beautiful this thing went towards the downside here. Again, try to get above the VWAP. It couldn't, and it slams down one more time there. Here is SRNE. SRNE was trash, guys. Again, just pretty choppy. Didn't like anything on here. Later, it did break out into 781, which is a great support for the pre-market low here. You can see it, and beautiful breakout here with some volume. But overall, the start was not great. Neo was incredible. Neo was great, guys. Look at this drop here. Once it lost this 1970, which was not the low of the day, but we did mark this down because it was an area where we saw a lot of support and resistance here in the pre-market, right? So we saw that great support happening there. And then the volume, we're looking at the volume on this one. I mean, it was something like 5 million, 8 million shares just on one of these candles here. This one here alone has 17. So again, the volume was just wild on the Neo off the start here. Here's then from there, guys, just became very choppy. Had a pretty good move right on here, and then from here, it's just really wild as the volume continued on that one. American Airlines was great as well. Look at the pre-market action; they started to get going early, and then broke out of this 1365. So he was looking for a breakout here. He did get one, and a nice pop all the way up to 1442. So that traded very well. Then got the rejection, came below VWAP, became a beautiful short as well. Did chop around after that. Didn't really get a lot of clean moves on American Airlines there. I want to look at BA. I had it on my possibles list, but look how clean this was as well. A beautiful action at the pre-market, and then the takeoff here, hitting this 175 and just ripping nicely here. Even if you waited for this pullback on the 5 minute towards the VWAP, you can see you had a great continuation there as well. So BA was pretty nice. Then the rejection, as many of the stocks got rejected here, slamming back down there. So that is what we had, guys. Let's take a look at what we have on our gappers list this morning. We have quite a bit in the green today, and just two in the red, Neo and DKNG. We'll take a look at those. But some good tickers in here in the green this morning. So we can't wait to see what these guys are up to today. I see some airlines. We see Walmart in here, Tesla, cruise lines, and some other ones that are not that great. But let's see what they're up to this morning. Norm, what do we have for today? Anything special?
Market's up nearly 0.5% again. It's absolutely insane. I guess
Yeah,
is the best August since for the market since 1986, I believe.
insane.
Who could have thought that we would be sitting where we are right now with the SPY at almost 3,500 when it was the end of the world just a few months ago? So absolutely, absolutely nuts. So this morning for economic data, we have got, of course, the Jackson Hole conference continues on. There might be news here and there out of that, but nothing really big expected compared to Jerome Powell's talk yesterday morning that we mentioned. We had personal income, consumer spending, core inflation, and trading goods this morning at 8:30. Chicago PMI at 9:45, and final consumer sentiment for August will come in at 10 a.m. So a few things there. But other than that, let's see. I don't know. All-time highs once again. It's absolutely insane.
It truly is, truly is. Let's look at this list, guys. Let's get into it. I'm going to remove what we had here from yesterday, and let's see what we have happening today. Let's start with what we have on the down list this morning. Neo leading the way here, down 3.8 this morning. So let's see what's happening there. Let's get the daily here, and let's get the 5 minute. All right. So Neo right now, nice drop for them here, 3.8 pre-market action. You got great volume, 5.5. I think this is worth watching. Let's remove some of the levels we had from yesterday. We're kind of sitting here between the highs and lows from the last two trading days, more towards the lower end here. We were pretty low here, coming back now a little bit. Looks like what happened last night? Some post hours action here. Nice big drop. Any news on them?
Nothing I'm seeing. Maybe
Yeah.
somebody knows something. I'm seeing it.
Yeah, nice drop here. Looks like towards the end of the trading after hours there. So again, we're bouncing back a little bit from that, hitting as low as 18.
There's a
Yeah.
apparently there's a secondary that I haven't heard about.
Okay. All right. We'll see how that. I think
No.
this is still worth watching. This stock is very active. So again, we got some great volume at this moment. So I think I'll put it on here for now. Let's see what we can get out of that. All right. Let's take a look at DKNG. This one in pre-market action right now, very choppy. It's a little bit all over the place. 272,000 at the moment. Again, this stock is just it's funny. It's hit and miss. You have some days where it just trades very difficult. Yesterday, again, not all that clean. You did get a pop here after a couple of minutes, and then just a lot of chop in between to be able to make some of these breakouts. So pre-market, I'm not seeing anything great right now. I am going to put it down as a possible for the moment. Let's see if it can hang there. Take a look at what's
They
up
got a
this morning.
downgrade this morning out of Morgan Stanley. Price target $37. They moved from an overweight to an equal weight value on it. Plus,
Okay.
these are, of course, with boycotts and everything else going on. It's in the news. That
Mhm.
could they've already been hit by Corona. If there are more boycotts, it could hurt their business further. So that's what's capping it down this morning.
All right, let's see how that's gonna shake out. Right now, again, pre-market action guys are now pretty choppy at the most part, down 2.3. To see if that gets any better. NTNX again. This one doesn't trail that well. Let's see what we got going on here. The last couple of days, it has been just chopping around here. If you look at the daily volume, a little bit on the lighter side, about 3.3 to 4 million shares on a given day. Right now, pre-market action up 12%, which is nice. We do have 339. And the pre-market action was a little bit choppier earlier. It's starting to get a little bit better, so I think it's worth watching. The nice big gap today for these guys, Storm. What's the news here? And TNX.
They had earnings after the bell yesterday. They also announced that they've got an investment out of Bain Capital, which is a private equity firm. I believe it was $750 million, which is significant compared to their market cap. So all in all, a couple things going well for these guys, popping them up this morning.
All right, excellent. We'll keep an eye on this one. GRWG, this one on our list almost every single day. Again, did not
Yeah, I
trade
know.
bad yesterday at all. We had a nice little pop there. After that, it's not as clean. This morning, pre-market is a little bit of all over the place. And again, we're seeing some volume here, but just I don't know. This stock is not great. Again, you had a great breakout yesterday here, and then after that, it just becomes very choppy. So on the daily. the daily possible breakout out of the yesterday's highs here. So it's got some potential. I'm gonna put it as a possible. Hopefully I can find something better. I did keep it on my list yesterday, but again, it was not the best trading
This one's
stock.
mind-boggling, man. I see zero news on it, and this thing just
Yeah,
is in play every single day. I
every
don't
day.
quite understand it. And it's a low-ish float. It's not a low float by our qualifications under 20 million. It's kind of a mid float, but I, it boggles my mind. I mean, they make hydroponics equipment.
Yeah,
What?
yeah. I don't get it, man. I don't know. I don't see how can this thing be moving so well like this with just no news on it, right? So no, at least no major news. So we'll see what
Yeah.
happens there. Here's LI. Now LI, this has been on our list of the last 2 days or three or so. And again, it doesn't trade very well, guys. For me personally, I don't like the way the stock moves. Right now, you do have some good pre-market volume of 282, but the action itself is not looking great, which doesn't mean much because we've seen this stock have a horrible pre-market action. And look at the drop there here yesterday. So you did get some opportunities to take a scalp in here. It does settle down and gives you a short. But if you look at this, take a closer look. If you look at how this traded, it's not as clean as some of the stocks that we like to watch here. So again, I'm not a fan of this one. There's a recent IPO as well. I know there's some people that have been watching this one and took some trades on it. So if you like this type of stock, by all means, keep it on your list. But I'm gonna take it off of mine. Um, NCLH. So we got some cruise lines here today, some airlines. Let's take a look what's happening there. At the moment, they are up 4% on NCLH today. Their daily looks great for a possible breakout if they have the juice here. We have some pretty good levels that we can hit on this one as well. So let's look at CCL. What is that doing? They tend to have a little bit more volume. They are not that much, 670, not that far off from NC and NCLH this morning. So you can watch either one. I'm going to put CCL on here. Let's look at the airlines. I see them on here as well. United leading the way. They're up 3% right now. Not a whole lot of volume. Typically, they have a great volume when they are going to be in play. American Airlines has 1 million shares traded. So again, they all seem very active, up between 2.5 to 3% this morning. But what kind of action are we going to get out of them? So I'm going to put American Airlines, United for now. We'll
And
see
as
that they'll
far as
stay here.
these reopening trade stocks go, I think all this is on the Abbott test. That's $5, and you get results in 15 minutes wherever you are.
Hmm.
You can test people coming on a ship, I guess, make sure nobody has coronavirus, and then go on your merry way, drinking and your, playing shuffleboard and all that stuff. That having been said, it looks like I guess CCL, one of their subsidiaries, is planning to launch some cruises this winter. I didn't get the exact dates or month, but I think it
Hmm.
was this winter. Of course, they announced that same subsidiary was going to start sailing in August and September and push that back already. So
Yeah,
November. Okay, David's saying
yeah,
it's November, so I appreciate it.
yeah.
But
We'll
they
see how
they
that
said
turns
they said
out.
it was, I think it was in May. They said they were going to start to set sail in August or September, and they canceled those. So let's see if it actually happens.
Yep, I do remember going through that. Here, guys, CCL again looks good on the daily, guys. We have some room to run here if we can get going. This right now, this seven, what is it, 1665, great area of resistance. We can pop from this with some positive news. We can get some good stuff going here. So I'm gonna keep this one on deck for now. What else we have here besides airlines? Walmart. Walmart's just an incredible day yesterday. Just look at this rip here, guys. This started off actually pretty strong, and then you have this great volume coming in here, just taking off. Are they hitting all-time highs? I believe they are. Yeah,
Oh yeah.
they're hitting all-time highs now. Again, so Walmart definitely in play, guys. Up 3.4. You're not gonna get a great pre-market action from them, but this is actually for this stock. Actually, this is a great pre-market action, period. But for this stock, which usually does not trade well at all, this is an amazing pre-market action. So let's add Walmart in here. It's not the best
Traded
trading
pretty well
stock.
yesterday.
What was that?
I said it traded pretty well yesterday
Yeah,
on the,
yeah.
when news broke out that they were going to be partnering to get with Microsoft to buy TikTok. So we'll see if it continues. Still
Yeah,
mind-boggling to me. People of
yeah.
Walmart and a social media app are going to intermingle, and
It's a very interesting mix. I don't see where the benefits are for both, but who knows? So yeah, so Walmart's good here, guys. Very nice big pop this morning. GFI coming in here, not doing all that much, just barely cracking 100K here. But again, pre-market's a little bit
Garbage.
all over the place here. It's garbage stock there. United, we have CCL. We looked at Tesla's in here, obviously just trying to get to that $3,000 mark, slowly but surely. This thing just keeps ripping. And that thing, that's all we have on the
Ludicrous
gapping.
mode.
What was that?
It's in ludicrous mode.
Oh, it really is. It's just insane. I mean,
Remember all those people short at 200 bucks?
oh yeah, right, yep, yep. I remember when it first hit. Was it 400?
Yeah, it was
Everybody thought,
400.
oh,
We
it's
were
coming
going
back down to
crazy that, oh my
100.
God, there's no
Yeah.
way. Yeah, it's not.
I mean, this was guys. This is the beginning of this year. 400, right around
I
here.
I predict this is going to be in the $400 to $500 range here in the next 2 weeks.
And then that's good. That's a good one.
What's the split date?
Yeah, that's a good one. I remember too when the Cybertruck came out. I remember that, and then we all thought it was well, not a lot of people thought it was a joke. And then look at this now. I mean, Jesus Christ, this is insane. All right, Neo. Let's take a look at Neo this morning. Neo right now. Yeah, it's got some volume, 6.1. I mean, it's always got volume. So we keep this one on deck here. That's good. Actually, we have it already. Here's Neo. We have that one. So okay, good. Norm, anything you like besides what's on this list already?
Um, no. I, hopefully somebody throws something out. I haven't seen anything myself. So
Yeah, yeah. Let's take a look at. Let's start with Michael here. He's giving us W day. This is work day, right? I believe. I always
yeah,
forget to save this here, this layout. All right, here it is. So it's work day this morning. Wow, nice pop for work day. They're up 10%, guys. What's going on with these guys? Not earnings, right? It's just or maybe earnings. Yeah, see this post hour play here on
I have
workday.
not looked at Workday this morning. I apologize.
Yeah.
Yes, they had earnings last night.
All right.
They've
Nice
also
big.
received an upgrade this morning. So
Yeah, beautiful pop for them this morning, guys. Now, the thing with this stock, though, it's very difficult to day trade. We have seen this stock do well before on news, and it's not an easy stock to trade. So again, we'll put it on here. They are in
seems
play.
to be spready, if I remember correctly.
Yeah, I
It was
remember
50
it
cents.
having a
It was
bad
roughly
spread.
50 cents right here. Yeah, but it's jumpy and spready, so it can be
Yeah.
difficult at times.
Yeah. This spread right now, guys, actually okay. I've seen 25 to 50 cents for $200 stock. It's actually not that bad, but I seen it be, I remember it being worse than this, like you mentioned, Norm. But yeah, definitely play, guys, but I probably won't keep it on my list because it's just one of those stocks that doesn't trail that clean. XPEV, I see that in both chats. Let's take a look at this one. This morning, they got a good pre-market action. What is this? Recent IPO of yesterday? Looks like I don't have no more candles here. Yeah, it looks like this thing
Yeah.
just got going yesterday. What did it do yesterday? So opened up here, choppiness obviously as it IPO'd, settles down, it does sell off here, and now we're ripping a little bit higher. I'm not gonna watch this one, guys, just because again, we don't have a lot of levels here to go by. But it's one you could keep, keep as a possible list. Maybe take a look at it later, see if the same thing can happen on here on it. But again, for the most part, it's just not a lot going on that we can go off here as far as technical levels. Um, let's take a look at ABT. ABT yesterday, again, very active. This morning, they're up 2.5 again, but it was just so tough to trade, man. This thing, it's not an easy stock to trade. And we saw that yesterday, even with a nice, beautiful gap. The pre-market action was a little bit better than the actual open. Look at the pre-market action here. Yes, it had got some pretty bad wicks here, but the pre-market action looked great. And then the open is just got this choppiness, prior to it settling down. So I might skip on this one for today, guys. It is up nicely 2.5, some good volume. Right now, the pre-market is very choppy. Hopefully, that doesn't go into the market open. Ulta, let's take a look at this one. I think we were talking in the chat room earlier. This was an earnings play, I believe, as well. I
Mhm.
think Peter was mentioning it. Yeah, you can see here, nice pop right
You guys
after the
enjoy
close.
that dollar. You guys enjoy that dollar fifty
Yeah,
spread.
yeah. This stock is not a good one to trade, guys. What have levels here? When did we look at this that I have levels? Okay, probably when it was up here, all time highs, maybe. I don't know. But yeah, this stock does not trade very well, guys. This pop 12%, light on volume. The spread is horrible. I actually have traded stock before, well before I knew what the hell I was doing with trading. And I remember it because I had a big loss on it with the way this thing moves is horrible. So I'm gonna stay away from it,
Yeah.
guys. Again, the pop looks good, but it's not a good trading stock, a day trading stock at all.
You take
Oh,
$300, you take
yeah.
300 shares of that, for instance, you're down $450 the second you hit the button.
hmm Yeah, and for bid, you got to hope for a pullback, even if your move is
Yep.
still in play. That spread is so important, guys. So important to have a tight spread. OKTA, no good action here, guys. Very light on volume. I'm gonna skip on it. It is gapping down 3.5, but this is not a good pre-market action. Also, notice the daily chart, how choppy it is, right? You're seeing a lot of wicks, little candles everywhere. Look down here at the volume on a regular given day. It's not a lot. And even on days where it drops down like this, look at this day going from 202, 220 down to $20 here, $20 drop, which is a big drop for this company. For the stock, you can see here without no volume. So again, that type of action you don't want to be a part of. You need volume, right? For our type of play, that's important. So let's take a look down XPEV. We looked at already, guys. VEV. What's happening here? No volume, only 11,000. I see the pop here, but again, we need a good pre-market action. Also, look at the volume on this. I think we looked at this one before too. Doesn't trade well. Spread is horrible. And look at the volume. Less than 1 million shares being traded on any given day. Uh, Great for a possible swing trade if you were buying it here 130, right? 281 now. But for a day trade, I don't see it. I don't see nothing good
Can you
happening.
go can you go back to what was it, Ulta with the spread? We've got a
Yeah.
bunch of questions on YouTube. I'm going to answer
Let's
them real
do it.
quick.
Yeah, we got time today.
So somebody said, "What's the different? What's the spread? What do you mean when you see $1.50 spread? Right now, the spread is $1.03. You can see up on the montage the bid, which
hmm
is where you would sell it at, is 252.50, and the ask is 253.37 at the moment. So you can't look at those first ones because they've got zero. They've got zeros, so you don't know how many shares are available. So the point, that's the size.
I know
Um,
they had it on here, right? Where you can actually see the difference. Maybe I gotta update my trade ideas, right? You can see
yeah,
actually see
maybe
the
so. Anyway,
yeah,
yeah, it's not there.
yeah.
Anyway, so you buy. I mean, you're gonna have to buy the ask and sell the bid. So instantaneously, um, it's whoever's offering it. If you take the trade, a quick trade, you're gonna have to put with a market order. You're gonna end up paying. Well, it's narrowing a little bit now. It was $1.50. So you're buying it at the ask and selling it at the bid, and therefore you losing $1.50 the instant you take the trade until you pray it comes back and the bid goes above where you paid.
Yeah, it's
So
again, it
anyway,
puts you behind the eight ball. And if you have to hope through a pullback, that's the tough part. Like because if you have a bad spread and it just starts going your direction, by all means, you're golden. But if you have to hold through a pullback, you could be down, two
yeah,
bucks
yeah.
just like that. And if you take a nice size, it's gonna sting a little bit. All right, scrolling down here, Piton. We That was active yesterday. Traded very well yesterday, by the way. Let's remove these levels here. I like the daily on Piton, I gotta say. Not a whole lot of action this morning. Oh no, hold on, that's Ulta. Let me get the right 5 minute up here. Okay. Oh yeah, still not a whole lot of action for Piton this morning. Very light in volume. I do like their daily though, so it could be a good for a breakout. So I'm gonna look for this to hit our scanners with some good volume towards the top. It is Friday, so we might not have the juice today to do that, but who knows? Anything's possible with the way this markets are nowadays. Let's throw that as a possible there. mRNA, no, Marvel, excuse me, MRVL. I thought I saw somebody put mRNA there. No volume here, guys. Not seeing anything great. The day looks great. Possible breakout. No, excuse me. Hold on. There we go. So yeah, day looks great. Possible breakout, but again, just not a whole lot going on there on MRVL this morning. All right, let's head down here. Let's get down here. What else do we have? We'll do a few more guys. Neo, we have on deck. Neo is on here. It's probably one of the first ones we looked at. Let's look at RKT and NVIDIA, and then we'll see what YouTube has for us if we haven't covered something here. RKT, guys. You know what? This stock has been trading very well, but the few times I have looked at it, their intraday has not been all that clean, guys. You are getting some pretty big pops. You got a nice breakout yesterday, but then it just gets pretty choppy in here. So I started to notice that the day before we also had a very choppy open, right? Great pre-market action, and then just a complete look at this is the open here, guys. Look at the chop. This has not been all that great. Now their daily looks very good. Looks like we're finding a base here at 27. Like we do want to head high. We're up 2.6 on it. Yeah, I thought that's a possible, but again, I'm not seeing a great market open on this one. It gets better later in the day, so maybe after the market open hour or two, you can tune into it, see what's going on there. But I haven't seen anything all that great on it so far. All right, let's take a look at what we have on YouTube. Piton, we looked at, we put it on here as a possible. We'll see how that's doing later. I see a lot of people throwing out X PEV again. Has anything changed? This is the recent IPO that we looked at. So again, great pre-market action, guys. 3.6, up 16%. I normally do not look at these recent IPOs just opened up a day ago, right? Just yesterday. We'll do some levels for it, which is not going to be much actually, it's just the highs and lows from yesterday. We'll look at it. We'll look at it later.
Got you
But right
covered.
now, yeah, got you covered. So we'll look at it, but I don't see what other technical levels you're going to have here. This could be a good scalping play, right? So if you're looking to scalp it, and play it off momentum at the open, then yes, that could be good. You don't have shares for short. You can only play it towards the long side, so you're very limited there. Just a lot that's going to be that you're not going to have on this one that you normally would have on a regular trading stock. So if this is your niche and you're used to trading IPOs and know how to trade them, by all means, this is active, looks great. But if it's not, stick with what you know. Okay, stick with what has been working. Um,
I have a rule against trading anything with an X in the ticker.
hmm, nice. I'll tell you this much: X
For
itself,
for some reason, things with the X in the ticker tend to trade terribly.
yeah, X is one of them.
I
This,
yeah.
yeah, this is one of them right there. All right, guys, it is Friday. As you can see, things are a little bit wacky today. Let's go over to our announcements. We'll come back and fine tune this list here.
All right, guys. So the recording of Naz's webinar and Traders Rehab should be up. If it's not, it will be very soon. I think you guys got it up yesterday, Carlos, right?
Yes, it's up and ready.
Okay, awesome. So that's in the Education Center next week in the Success webinar, 5 p.m. special time Wednesday. Eamon will be talking about his extreme reversal strategy, laying that out. Success webinar, Nada's psychology webinar is also up next week, Tuesday, 8 p.m. We've got Dr. Kenneth Reed talking about trader personality, knowing yourself, and how to best capitalize on figuring out your personality and your trading style. There is no member trade of the day, but wait for the announcement this afternoon. We will be picking from the 4 submitted Monday through Thursday, and that will be announced by Mike later today for the person that wins. I don't know if it's this week that we've changed it, but I guess this is now going to be an iPhone from now on. I think this week is a $100 gift card still. I believe starting next week, it'll be an iPhone. So I think
Yeah.
we'll get a lot more submissions for that. It's quite generous.
We get a lot now. I can only imagine what that's going to look like.
Yeah, I know. I'm going to have to turn my Twitter off. All right. So if you're watching us on YouTube, haven't been in the chat, you can do so for a discount. Use the promo code premarket24. That gives you 7 calendar days, 5 trading days, including, unless there's a market holiday, including Carlos's onboarding class each and every Monday night at 8 p.m. Eastern. If you're looking to either upgrade your membership or become a lifetime member, use the promo code LABOR35. That will get you 35% off a lifetime member. Yes, and OTC, thank you for clarifying. I'll add that. I knew that, but there are more requirements for that, which we will lay out and have more info on next week. So yes, it's a $100 gift card this week. We'll talk about the additional requirements and how to fulfill that next week.
All right, guys, let's jump into speaking of the member trade of the day. Here's the member trade of the day for yesterday. So I don't have the name of who won this one, but great trade on BYND, guys. Here's a 2-minute chart. He waited for the breakout of that pre-market high, as you can see there. Perfect entry, getting in there on the pullback. And then look at the scale out. Just an amazing, amazing trade here. I don't have the name with me of who did this trade, but great job there. Good luck today on winning the price there. All right, guys, let's look at our list this morning. Let's start with NEO. So NEO right now, great pre-market action. As you can see, let's get to the daily. Here we go. So our daily again, we're bouncing off this area of support here. 1850, 1806 was the low of the pre-market, which was the yesterday we had this great drop into the close of the market overall, not the bell at 4 p.m. We're talking about the entire close here. You can see this drop happening pretty nice, and we're bouncing off of that this morning. So we're still down 4.2 from yesterday's close, so still in weak this morning. But interesting pre-market action to say the least. We do have shares for sure, 6.4 right now, and we could be extended on the daily a little bit, so that could create some opportunities towards the downside. Also with some movement we're seeing here in the pre-market. So let's keep that one on there. NTNX is good right now. I like the pop on it. Pre-market is so-so. But I do want to have some levels for it. Even if we move it down to a possible, I want to be ready for this one because it does have a great pop this morning. Here is CCL, great action as well. Rejection at 1668, high of yesterday. No, what is the high? Yeah, high of yesterday. So, but we do got some good volume there. American Airlines is okay. United is so. I like American Airlines better today, so I'm going to take off United. They both have great volume, doing pretty well. Walmart is amazing this morning, great pre-market action. Going to keep that one. Workday, I'm going to remove, guys, and the reason is this stock is it's very difficult to trade. I love this pop here. Actually, I'll leave it here to do some levels, but I'm gonna remove it off my list. XP great pre-market action is a recent IPO. We can talk about it a little bit more, but again, not a whole lot of levels we're going to be able to trade on here, but it could be a great scalping momentum play opportunity on that one at the open. And then we have some possibles. GRWG has been on our list almost every single day. They get a good breakout yesterday at the open. DKN and G is here as well. We have Piton had a great day yesterday, possible continuation today. RKT, it's not doing all that much. I'm going to remove RKT. We'll get that one out of the way. All right. So let's do levels. So we have Neo, guys, towards the bottom. Plenty of support here, which is nice. The lows from the last two trading days. We also have this 1806, which is the low of yesterday's post after hours action here. So towards the top, high of the pre-market is hitting 1960. Let's mark that down. Then above that, you have the previous day close and the highs from the last two trading. So a lot of levels in here. Pre-market right now, we're holding on to the low of yesterday pretty nice here. As you can see, bouncing off of that several times this morning. Great volume, 6.5. So we'll have to see how that's going to play out at the open. NTNX, again, pre-market not looking all that great, but we do have a nice pop on this. This is up 13.4. Pre-market low, 24.40. Above this, we do have 25.42. So let's mark that down. That seems to be the 200 moving average right on here. So I'm going to mark this down to 200 moving average on the daily around 25.18. So I'm going to mark that down. That could play a part in the market open. Look at this 25.42, by the way, great area of resistance going back a couple of days, a month or two here, June. You can see here plenty of resistance happening there, so that's good. Above that, if we're able to come back up and break out of that, we do have 26.42 on this amazing gap down day. You can see that on here. That's the top of the resistance when this thing gap down. Try to push up. Could not. 26.42 is a great area to have on there. If we decide to go up right now, looking rather weak, hitting that low of the pre-market at the moment. We do have another great level here at 23.43. Horrible daily. You don't see a lot of great support and resistance here, but this 23 is good. I'm taking this off of this change in direction here, right? So we come up, nice rally, then we hit that 23.83, we slam down. Now that I have this level here, if you look closely within this time frame of June, you can see how that has been a good support there as well. So let's keep that on there. We also have another level here down at 23.11, great area of resistance, and kind of an area here, but the support here is very clear. Look at the support that you have here on NTNX going into June and July. So we'll see nice big drop here of the pre-market low. Let's see if we're going to recover or continue to slam down. CCL right now, great pre-market action, guys. We got some good volume. 700,000 is good for CCL. Let's remove some of these levels. We do have our highs and lows towards the bottom here. Towards the top, we do have this great level here, 1749. We have a minor level in between here. I'm going to mark down the 1707. I think that could be important. But aside from that, guys, you pretty much cover highs and lows from the last two trading days in here. Got you taken care of. Again, good pre-market action right now. 700,000 plus is good for CCL for it to be in play. Here's American Airlines, very choppy pre-market action, but they do have some amazing volume. I'm going to remove some levels that we had yesterday. Let's put some fresh ones in here. So we have our high of our pre-market over at 1370. Above that, we do have this level right on here, 1401 is the high from about 3 days ago. So that's a good one too. And if you look at that 1401, you can see here there's a couple of days opening and closing right around that area. So that's important. Then above that, you have your highs from 2 days ago, which also coincides with the highs from a couple of weeks back here on this date. You can see that on there, that 1427, and then also all the way up here, 1507 if we can get going this morning. Towards the bottom, plenty of levels. You can mark down the low of the pre-market hanging around of 1345. We could throw that on there. But aside from that, guys, there's plenty of levels already for United. Did I just delete everything? Yes, I did. Let's put them back. All right, 1370, 14, I think it was 14 on the dot actually, and then 1427 up here, and then the low of the pre-market over at what's this, 1345. There we go. All right, Walmart, guys, a big pop for them this morning. Had a great day yesterday. They're up 3.4. High of the pre-market, 141.60. Great pre-market action right now. Some good volume up for this nicey stock. They're hitting all-time highs, so you're not going to get any levels above this. Looking forward to see how Walmart is going to trade today. Now, I have never traded Walmart successfully. It's a little bit, it's not a tough trading stock, but it's very difficult to trade, at least for me. But yesterday, on days like yesterday, this is amazing. At the start, you had a nice little breakout here, nice trend going. And then you get, if you were in this trade, you're not going to time this, right? This is news that comes out, very difficult to time. But if you were in this trade already from some good intraday action of the VWAP here, you would have taken advantage of this great move here or stopped out, obviously. So let's see if that plays out today. We're going to get any type of continuation on Walmart this morning, looking very strong today. Here's Workday. We'll do some levels for it, but I'm going to remove it. It's a stock that, again, the spread is pretty nasty. It doesn't trade very well, so it's not one of the ones I'm going to keep on deck. 244.50 high of the pre-market, the low sitting at 237. 87. You do have a nice gap up here, guys. 10% this morning. There is we're all-time high. It looks like we are, right? So we have a big gap here. Oh no, we have a nice area here where we can find a great level of resistance going back to 2018. 226 90. It's a good area there. To have something in between here. This is a big gap that we have. So you want to have a level in between there to gauge yourself. If this thing does start coming down, where can you find some support and change in direction? I'm also going to mark down, yes, in the after hours drop here, the low of the after hours down at 236, 234.56. I'm going to mark that down. All right, what do we have next? XPEV. Now, this is a recent IPO, guys. I know a lot of you guys have been throwing this one out there. It has a beautiful pre-market action. So it could give you some opportunity for some possible momentum and scalping plays here, right? But you're not going to have a whole lot of levels. Looking at this now, looking at my 5-minute, let's see if we can get some levels off of this. Maybe this one here's a good level. You can see how that 22.56, you got some good support happening here based off yesterday's trading day. Trying to see where you also have another one right on here as well. This 24, you can see the resistance there, the nice breakout, right? Testing some of these moving averages. So that's really all you're going to have on this, right? The low of the pre-market today, 28.80. Let's mark that down. Let's see how this trades. I'm going to keep it on here. Let's see how it trades today. All right, that is what we have, guys. Let's take a look at our moderators, what they have this morning, what that lineup looks like. Let's start with John. So as usual, break of 5-day top watch list, Microsoft, BA, and Apple. Mike is looking at his scanners, but on his secondary list, he's looking at Microsoft, Walmart, NBA. Brian has NEO, GRWG, SQ, Walmart, CRM, FS, FAS, and also NSYS later for fun. NSYS. Let's take a look at that. I saw a lot of people calling this one out this morning after we started doing our check here in the chat. What's going on with this one? All right, so it's active. What's the flow? So the low flow, usually what he says for fun is usually a low flow stock. Yeah, 1.2. So just be careful here, guys. Very active right now. 5 million shares traded, up 58%. So again, do not be flexible on your rules and your strategy on this type of stock, right? This is one that you don't want to have no flexibility on, given no chance to put you in a tough position. All right, we have Eamon. He has Facebook, ABT, Microsoft, American Airlines, NEO, and Walmart. Tiffany has Walmart, CCL, UAL, Microsoft, and NEO. And Peter's coming in with his list there. We should be able to see it shortly. All right, guys, that is what we have. Here's Peter's list. He has XPEV, I actually not sure I will scan the open. All right, so he's not going to trade the open, but his secondary list, he has XPEV, Microsoft, AMD, Big, Workday, Walmart, and GPS. Thor, his list, Facebook, Walmart, and Big. And Jarvis watching the cruise lines and financials this week, as well as Neo. His secondary is list is Tesla for split next week. So, all right, pretty good list this morning, guys. That is what we have as of now. So, guys, please trade safe. It is Friday, so have an amazing weekend. Remember, Fridays things tend to get a little bit lighter on volume, so be mindful of that. If you see yourself being chopped around, put your rules in place where you don't trade more than a certain number of times on a ticker. That's important. Sometimes,
Yeah.
you keep stabbing at something, then you look back at the bigger picture. You're in the wrong side of the trade, or you're going against a trend, or it's just not moving, just going sideways. So be mindful of that this morning. Go into the weekend knowing that you traded well, follow your rules, and make sure that you have fun with your families. That's important. Dr. Kat's message on Monday, man, it was amazing. We talked about being
Yeah.
grateful, for Mindful Monday. So I'm looking forward to see what he has next week on Monday. But that's important. I kept that in mind all this week, and man, he is so true about if you keep that in mind, you think about things differently, right? And we know that, but it's great to have that reminder constantly. So, with that said, guys, trade well, and we'll see you guys
If you
on Monday.
if you if you missed it, you can always go back and check out the YouTube. It's right around the 9 a.m. mark, somewhere in there, plus or minus a few minutes. Look at the live feed on our channel. Like
Yep.
Carlos said, it's Friday. It's the end of the summer, which makes it an
Mm,
even worse Friday. Trade safe, be smart, be patient. See you guys Monday.
absolutely. Take care, guys.